This is Eva, such a cutie. She's my best friend's dog, and my friend had to travel a lot, so lucky for me, I gotta keep an eye on her for a couple of months. We had such a nice time together, and of course, I took a lot of pictures of her. Now, let's look at some photos. This is just regular boring snapshot, not really showing her anything. How can we make this photo more interesting? Maybe we can get closer, maybe like this or this. Maybe we can change some angles, maybe defocus in the background. Now this is much better. And this little process, my friend, just answered everything. Hello everyone, my name is Lau and welcome to my channel. I am a professional photographer based in Barcelona, Spain, and today let's talk about this topic: how to take a better photo. In this video, we are going to discuss the process and think inside as a photographer. Also, I am going to show you some interesting composition idea during the video. You don't need a fancy equipment or retouching techniques to tag along. All you have to do is just, well, keep calm and remember this formula. A good photo equals concept plus and minus. Allow me to explain. In the first photo, the main reason that it sucks is basically that we are not showing clearly the concept. Is it the dog or the big stain on my balcony wall? Since our concept is the cute dog, I had to think of a way to make it stand out. What can I do to add more attention to our concept? I had to get closer to the dog, even move her on a chair. The viewers now exactly know who is our protagonist. And then, to make it even better, I have to try to add more attractiveness. I changed the angle a couple of times and even tried to make Eva smile. And we got this cute photo of her, but there is still something that distracting this photo. I have to cut this out. Now this is the final result. And this is actually one of the many examples. Now let's elaborate on that. In a photo, we have to show clearly our concept or our main subject. When you are shooting, you have to be aware of the concept and really try to show it to your audience. It can be a story, a product, some sort of mood, or even just a visual thing like a beautiful girl, cute dog, cute baby, etc. Sometimes you have to stop and think, what are you shooting? No matter what type of photography you are in, you need to at least show one of those concepts that I mentioned before. Clearly, if you can combine more or even all of them, you are the boss. Easier said than done. A lot of people take bad photo. It's just because they don't know how to express the concept, or they don't try hard enough, or simply they just don't really care. Okay, now let's talk about the weird plus sign. What is that? Well, what should we add to make this concept even better and stand out? Maybe changing the background, maybe the lighting, maybe use a different angle, maybe the styling. I'm gonna say the lighting is super important, but it's long and worth like a whole new video to talk about it, so today we are just going to skip it. Instead of this, let's just talk about the composition. We can make this real quick, so let's start with the famous rule of thirds. Nowadays, any camera or phone probably has these lines. This is the golden ratio. If your main subject is keep hitting on these spots, it's just naturally drawing more attention and making people want more. People use it on portraits, landscape, streets, anything. Although this is a rule and rules are meant to be broken, there are plenty of photographers who made awesome photos by breaking it. Some other composition idea to make your photo stand out. We can use some leading lines. This is one of my favorite technique. It's very effective and cool to look at. As you guys can see here, all the lines are drawing to our concept, and we can see our protagonist in the first line. Pretty cool, huh? Also, we can find a different one in bunch of repetitive objects. I don't know how to say this like correctly, so I'm just gonna say it like that. Well, I'm showing you the photo. Like here we have like 4 trash cans, and the one with the person is naturally got isolated because this is different. We can use focus and depth of field. If you get closer to the object, the main subject just gets bigger, like myself right now, and you guys can see the background is actually getting blurrier. If I come back, naturally, you see the background is more clear and I got smaller. Also, we can use some contrast to make this concept stand out. I intentionally choose this black background to make my friend stand out. Or the contrary, we can also use like a similar color palette to help our main subject to raise a mood. Like here, the jacket is brown. Normally green and brown is not the same color, but because this is like a similar color palette, it makes it quite matching. This is another good idea to make your photo looks better. Some other idea, we can just use framing. What is a framing? Well, this is my beard. You know, this is actually framing my face. It can make my face look smaller and hide my double chin. So yeah, it's kind of useful. And in photography, it can make our protagonist to stand out. And a lot of movies are using these techniques to design their poster. Let's come back and talk about the concept minus. What does that mean? It means, what should we cut from our photo? When you shoot, you want to like add everything into your photo and to make it better, but a lot of things are really not helping. It's just distracting and unpleasant for our eyes and for photo. This is a very obvious example. The sign is quite distracting. We should take this out, and now, see, it's much better. Now I'm gonna show you my favorite photo, the original one. This looks very messy. We more or less know the main subject is the old lady, but I'm gonna retouch it and show you how it looks now. It's totally different, right? Of course, the majority of times we don't need to make things that complicated. All you have to do probably is just a simple crop. Remember, when you shoot a photo, know exactly what's the concept, get closer, and then think, what can you add? What light can you add? Or how do you shoot to make this concept looks better? In the end, you should think, what can I cut? What things from background should I take it out to make this photo better? So yeah, thanks for watching this video, and in next video, I'm gonna talk about my favorite camera, the Sony a6400. So, please don't forget to hit the like button, and my name is Lao, and welcome to LPS. I'll see you next week.